man, Woody likes the crooked cock.
Yeah, the Adonis lines are sick. And I think that some parts of like my physique there are just like, and correct me or help me here, Derek, but like I think genetically, like I don't think everybody's abs are. I think my abs are pretty symmetrical. And I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you got lucky, dude. Yeah, you never know until you actually get shredded, like what you're working with, which is like it's a surprise. You find out, and it's like, oh, like good for me. You know,
are most people's not symmetrical?
It depends. Like it varies wildly. Like with The Rock, I'm actually about to put out a video on his like. It's weird how this was picked up as a top story, but I have no idea if I had any influence on people Googling this term. But I did a video on why his abs are like not good. Like he has, even though he's jacked, he's like 270 plus lean. He got shredded for his last role. His abs are essentially non-existent. Now, it's not to say his physique isn't ridiculously impressive and he's like, you know, one of the most jacked movie stars on the planet. He's absolutely, you know, killing it. But no matter what he does, his abs will never look even as good as 165-pound Zac Efron from Baywatch. Like when they stand next to each other, whose abs look better? Zac Efron, even though he's
nobody's
100 pounds
abs
less.
look as good as Zach's. Zach looks so fucking good in that movie. They're absurd. They're absurd.
Yeah, so it's like, but ultimately it's just like you can't do anything about your muscle insertions, really. You can only just build off of what you have. So with The Rock, for example, it was kind of interesting because he did an interview and they were doing like the most Googled terms or something, like The Rock, you know, fill in the blank, whatever Google pops up with. And it was like, what's wrong with The Rock's abs? It's like one of the most Googled terms. And he was like, what a fucked up question. And I was like, it's a pretty prominent, you know, like aberration from his, like the rest of his structure. Like everything's so perfect. And then it's like his abs are just like non-existent. I think it's a reasonable question. And he had this big excuse about how he like tore his like quad, as well as had like a brutal hernia when he was, you know, at WrestleMania 29, I believe, in 2013. But if you look at him pre-2013, his abs never looked like different than this. So, you know, this is just an example of like Kyle's abs look better than this. And he's, you know, how many, like 80 pounds less muscle than The Rock or something, you know? So, yeah, I think Kyle got lucky in that regard. Obviously, everyone has their genetic shortcomings. Like Kyle's chest, obviously, you know, needs some work, as does mine, you know?
Yeah, I was, and like, I was like, maybe I'm using Derek's workout program because we both have comparative. I tell everybody this is my way of like shitting on you a little. I'm like, Derek's got a weak chest, and I've got one too, and like, but they're like, your shoulders though. I'm like, I know, my delts are really big. Derek's delts are really big. I think I'm just using his workout program. We're going to add some flat bench in here. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
That's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably it. Derek's just making this up. Yeah, he could make it up. He'd be like, well, the problem there is the phleboglobin is coming up against the selenium totals.
We need to titrate it up.
But no, you're absolutely right. It's just I think it's just a genetic shortcoming of mine with the chest. And it is something like the last like 3 months or for whatever it is, like I've been trying to focus more on building my chest. Like I added like an extra chest exercise on push days, like one extra thing, like just add like some flat bench dumbbell stuff on one day, and added some cable stuff, and I don't know. Actually the pec deck, and I've been like really being able to get a mind muscle connection with the pec deck a lot more than some other stuff. So hopefully
and obviously next when you do the next bulk, if we work together, the next gaining muscle phase, you know, a lot of your volume will be allocated more towards chest than your like genetically superior body parts to then kind of like bring them up to where everything else is at, kind of thing. So like if you have a genetic shortcoming, you know, you have a certain weekly amount of volume you can tolerate in the gym, and you would allocate it accordingly based on, like, he had no foundation to even see what he was working with before this transformation. So now that he's like gotten lean, he's built some muscle up, we can actually see like, okay, where's the shortcomings now, and then build off of that and, you know, make the changes accordingly. But it's like before that, you have no fucking idea what's going on. You're just like a skinny fat, you know, disaster. So you got to like build up the infrastructure and then get peeled, and then you figure it out.
All right.
I ended on that note. I love the
That was the
wordplay.
best shit I've ever heard.